Hey guys, welcome to Train Sim TV. Welcome to Cumbrian Coast Development Diary 7. Quite a lot's happened since our last video. The route's name has actually changed as well. It's now under the Cumbrian Coast and Furness Railway line, and this video is going to explain why. So, we was aiming that we wouldn't actually be doing another development diary before the release, but quite a few things sort of cropped up a lot sooner than what we thought. The route's been merged with the Furness and Morecambe Bay route, which is on the workshop by a chap called Phil Terr, also known as PJT 1974, I think his UK train sim name was. So a lot of you may recognise that name within the TS community. He gave us permission to use his workshop route to merge onto the Cumbrian coastline, which saves us a massive amount of time in terms of building the scenery down to Preston, which basically means we have a little bit of a gap to close up. So where you see the route at the minute is we're actually at Dalton in Furness. So if I just move up, you'll see what I've been up to recently. A lot of you guys probably will be watching the streams as well, so you'll have seen quite a lot of this in the development process. As we turn our camera around, that's looking towards the Barrow avoiding line and towards Barrow in Furness. So if I'm just going to pause the game a second, just let it load itself in. So if I fly down here, you come up to the junction here, you can take the line to the left, or you can take the avoiding line to the right, which shows not much really there to be filled in now with the scenery. So I'm working on this at the moment, trying to get the gap closed up. The aim for the release of the route is going to be Preston all the way up to Millom. Now that also gives the question of what about the line to Barrow? Is that included or is that not? Now, for the first release, this section will not have scenery. There's still quite a lot to do down that way to Barrow, which would put the release back a lot more further than what we wanted to do originally. So what the first release is going to focus on is the straight through line on the avoider. So what you'll be able to do is you'll still be able to do Barrow to Millom with the passenger stuff, but the avoiding line will mainly focus on anything like such as rail tours that possibly may run down here, and of course the nuclear flask workings. Just down there is Park South Junction. So what we'll do is we'll head out back down to where we just started. What I'll do as well, I'll put the map on in a minute just to show you guys the extent of the map. I'll put that map on there. Right, so what you see is we're about here, sort of where the green marker is, which is Dalton Station. So the video started on this straight section here. You can't actually see my mouse, but that hopefully gives you the idea where we first started. So if I zoom back out, you'll see the line down this way is the section that's not going to be included with any scenery for version 1. That is the line into Barrow. That will come at a later date. Mainly, the other reason is, well, it does include the docks, which is going to take quite a bit of work to get that into shape and all that as well. But Barrow to Millom will be usable for version 1 for the passenger side. Right, so wrong button. Right, back on that again. So you'll see here is, of course, the long section down to Preston. Heading to Preston, it's currently on its own little island. I'm calling it the Isle of Preston currently. This mainly is because we have attached with the massive help from Pete Mitchell from Alan Thompson Sim. He's merged in some track tiles for Preston from the Missing Link route, which it allows us to utilise the Preston model from their Missing Link route and a few other assets as well along the way. The main one, we wanted to have a proper Preston rather than the kit bash that we've known for so many years from West Coast Mainline over Shap. So what we'll do is in a little bit we'll fly down there and I'll show you what's been going on down at Preston. So heading back up to the Furness line part of the route. So there's been some changes along the way to Phil's fantastic route. Without Phil, again, this wouldn't be possible. And also Ian McKay, who's known under Suburban Glasgow, he did our first merge. So Ian did the merge with the furnace route, and then Pete Mitchell did the little merge down at Preston, getting their stuff in there. So without them guys, this wouldn't be possible, and you won't be seeing this in this video. So let's just take the game out of pause mode there, because otherwise it ain't going to load the scenery in. So this is where I'm currently working at the moment. This is Dalton in Furnace Station. As you can see, this side nearly is finished up to the merge point. The merge point is literally just over there where Lindell Tunnel is. So you see where that line of trees is in the distance, and where the pylons are, that is where the merge is. So I've been working on this. This section's virtually finished apart from terrain paint. There's a few houses to go in there, and then the next section is, I've just started doing this afternoon, is the housing on the main side of Dalton. So there's a lot more on this side. So yeah, taking shape. It's getting there. Quite a bit to go in yet, but hopefully maybe this week or so, I'm hoping this will be a lot more finished and filled in with all the assets needed to go in. So just before the video, I put these houses in, so that was the last thing I put in these houses here. So as we head along the line, we head towards Lindell Tunnel into the cutting. So this was the first bit I did actually on the route, and you'll have seen that on the stream if you've been following the progress. So we put all this in. I think the game actually was still in pause mode. I can't quite tell if it is or not. It's just loading everything in. There it is. It was in pause mode. So this is where the merge took place. So what you'll see is a difference in the style of building, which is the main one. You'll see obviously we have VP trees and stuff on this side, whereas on the old section it's down to the older method of route building. So it'll have the older trees and some older foliage. But I will be doing a full sweep with line side clutter, so it'll bring it a bit more up to today's standards with cable trunking and all that sort of stuff. So that will look quite cool when it's all done. We've got the JT tracking to the route now as well. I can't quite remember if we showed that on the last video, but that's in the fully now. So we head towards Ulverston. So to be quite fair, I can't take the credit for this because I've not touched anything here. It's literally the existing route. What I'm going to do is I'll fly through and I'll show you the changes of what we've been doing. So certain changes, such as some bridges mainly, is on this section of route. Grange-over-Sands is quite a big change as well, which I'll show you. So just little bits and pieces that have been going in. So I'll put the bridges in, put some bollards in and that. Using the Stainmore route as well as a requirement. There's some absolutely superb assets in that route. And all will be apparent, and it'll all come clear when we go to Grange-over-Sands as well. This is a Stainmore bridge as well. So the assets from that route are perfect for this region of route. The buildings and stuff, they all fit in with the area of like the materials and stuff like that, so they fit in really nicely to the area. As you can see here, there's still a little blank section. This is on Phil's route, of course. We're going to fill in the missing fields and stuff on this side. There's not much to go into, to be honest. Just some trees, fields, and odd bits of roads. That shouldn't take too long to finish off. That goes just to over there. So as we head down, other things that have changed are the updates to signals, speed boards, and all such stuff like that in AWS ramps and stuff. So they've been upgraded to the newer ones out of the JT library. We're using Sinks and Benedict's fantastic speed signage pack for the route as well, which brings the signage to a better standard as well, better textures and stuff. Moving down. Also, as we head down into Ulverston, ignore the lag. It's just because we're loading through all the route and stuff. And I'm flying around it like a bird. You'll see semaphores. The semaphores have been updated. So these were originally like Kuju style ones. I think off the original Woodhead route, because that's a requirement. So the requirement side of things have changed because we've had to obviously accommodate for the requirements needed on Phil's route, and of course missing links. So it is going to be quite an expensive route in terms of the amount of payware that you need and stuff like that. But it's just one of them. It's the nature of the beast, really. To get the route that we want, to get the look of the route, these things have to come in. And again, the semaphores are off North Wales Coastal, so unfortunately at the minute, with it being off sale, it'll be a case that certain people won't be able to run the route because them assets aren't available. We hope that DTG do bring these routes, the North Wales Coast route back, so that we can hopefully get all that updated and everyone then will be able to run the route. But at the minute, obviously, it's not on sale. So yeah, semaphores have been updated and all that sort of stuff around here. Custom signal box will come for Ulverston, as at the minute it's a generic default one. There's a couple of boxes to come, so there's one up at the junction near where we started the video. I can't remember what the junction's called off the top of my head. I'm not sure if it's, is it Rouge Junction or something like that. So there's that one, there's this one, and there's also one at Carnforth. Possibly Hess Bank as well may come as a box. Well, that one's not too bad, to be fair, it's quite close to what it's representing. We've got Ulverston Station, which is off the original route. Nothing's been done here, but it's quite a very decent representation of Ulverston for the time being. Would love to have a custom here, but don't know how viable that's going to be, as we're obviously working to get Barrows a custom for now. Will's working away at that again, I think, as well. We spoke over the weekend just before recording this video, so a case of just waiting on the updates for that now. So yeah, fingers crossed it won't be too far for that one. So as we leave Ulverston, nothing really changed much down here apart from I've updated the embankments to match in with the JT track. They were originally Coogee ones, so those will look a bit better with the track now. Still got to paint the train around here yet. I've not done that yet. I'll be doing a full sweep of that at some point. I need to check the track types on the cab ride, whether it's concrete or wooden in specific places, whether it's new track, old track, and then the paint can follow that afterwards. So as we head away from Ulverston, we're heading now towards oh no, it's not. I always forget what this viaduct's called. The Viaduct. The name's gone. We're at Plumpton Junction as well, and Leven Junction. So Plumpton Junction, there was a load of still some bits actually over there. To be fair, there was, I think it was a coke plant. If you have Staymore route, you'll actually see that in the route of this junction, and the other junction being Leven Viaduct. That's it. Obviously Leven. So Leven Junction goes towards the Haverthwaite Railway. So many years ago, the route went in that direction. You can see the triangle coming around here as well. Yeah, that went down to what is the Haverthwaite Steam Railway today, if you carried on down there. So the route comes in here, over Leven Viaduct, which is one of the custom assets off the Staymore route. So it uses onside viaduct, but it's literally an identical, trying to get my words out here, identical structure. So it looks really cool. It's all in place there. So again, some of the fantastic assets that come with the Staymore route. We'll be able to get some proper driving done on this route at some point soon. I haven't got any snows made because the line into Preston, of course, is not quite complete yet. Once that's all connected up properly and wired up and set to electrified track, we'll be able to start getting some snows together, and we'll be able to do a video of it, and of course streams. I've done a couple of free roam runs down here to Carnforth and that on my own, and I've done it on stream as well just to show people. I can't really do anything on the West Coast Mail yet, as I say, because track's not electrified, so it's literally be a case of just driving without AI. Which is all good, but it just get a little bit boring after a while. Just let it load in the section there. So as we come around here, we're heading towards Cark now as well. So some of the other bits and pieces that I've done on the route are updating the level crossings and like the road crossing stuff like that. So this is one of the crossings I've updated. So we're heading to Cark Station. Nothing's really changed on this station apart from the footbridge. Lighting and stuff will change, obviously that says Dumfries, so I'll be changing all this sort of stuff, just making sure the clutter's right. But to be fair, not much will need to be done here. Probably just update some of the fencing and stuff on the platform there, but Not a lot needs changing really. So moving on. Again, one of the bridges from Staymore you can see here. These really cool access bridges for like farmers and stuff like that, and like sheep fields and stuff. They've come really handy. Another one of the updated level crossings here with the lights. Currently these lights don't change in time, so I need to try and think of another method on working these, because they come on too late. I think the lights literally change as the train's going past them. They are set to like a 20-mile crossing, but the speed for the trains coming over here, I think, is 50. So back to the drawing board with that one. But for now, there's a placeholder in place. So as we come around the curve here, we go through a rock cutting, and we're heading to which is I think it's Kent's Bank. It's Kent's Bank. I'm trying to remember the names of the stations. So Kent's Bank's had a little bit of an update. Level crossing barriers have been put in and a bit tied up with the fencing. Other than that, it's still pretty much as it was. We'll get some names and stuff for the station, so we'll get some station signage put into these at some point soon. I need to make a list of all the bits I need, and then we can get them put in down the line. So they just match in with the rest of the route. So as we're now heading towards Grange-over-Sands. Again, there's another one of the crossings that's been updated. Some barriers are put in there and some new signage and bits and pieces just to bring that up to scratch. So one of the fantastic bits of the Staymore route, being the custom assets that come with it, are stuff such as the promenade. So there's a nice promenade loft. It's a little bit ropey on the bends and stuff, but it's not too much. It's not too bad when you're driving past at speed. You won't really notice it. But the main beauty of it is it comes with some fantastic little assets for the area, such as the Lido. So the Lido is in. It was here as a kit bash out of concrete blocks originally. So we've now got a fantastic little asset in there, which looks really well and in as it should be. Moving on. As we get closer towards Grange-over-Sands, we've taken out of use the footbridge, buried it all off and stuff as well as it is in real life. It was condemned, I think, a few years ago. It was just really old and weren't fit for use. I actually remember walking over here a few times many years ago, and it didn't look great at the time. It was rusted and it just looked like it was ready to fall to bits, to be honest. It was just corrosion off the sea air. So moving towards Grange-over-Sands, again there's another crossing that's been updated here. It's got some really cool funky bits out of the on-track simulation common library now, as that's been deemed into use for the freeware stuff, with the Leeds and Manchester route going into freeware, which means we get to use these assets. One being these little funky foot crossings. They've got the blue studs on them, and these do actually light up at night. So I've not seen them properly yet, but Callum's told me that they do light up at night. So when we get some night stuff, I'll look forward to seeing these. Make some quite cool photos. So we head towards Barrett. No, we don't head to Barrett. We head to Grange-over-Sands. So Ben Yates has been very kind and helped out with this one. He's made it so the Grange-over-Sands station fits our track, which looks absolutely superb. Lovely asset from the Staymore route. So a massive thanks to Ben, and of course to Phil. I think Donkey Works, his name is in TS as well. He produced a load of assets for the Staymore route. So without his fantastic modelling as well, we wouldn't be able to use the station at all if it wasn't there. But yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff there. So that's all in its glory. Still got a little bit of odd bits of clutter to put in some station signage again here, but yeah, it looks really cool. Another asset that came with the route was the actual Grange-over-Sands box, so that's another box that Callum doesn't have to make. And the bridge as well, that's another one of the customs from the route which slotted into place there. So moving away from Grange-over-Sands, we head towards Arnside and Arnside Viaduct. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to get rid of that piece of crossing because that shouldn't be there. That's one job done. I meant to do that the other week when I drove past it and just left it. Just get that quick save. There we go. Right, so as we move away, we're going to head to Arnside. So of course we'll have Arnside Viaduct once again, but as it actually should be. We've got the old derelict little huts as well that sit at each side of the viaduct. This looks absolutely superb, especially when you're sat down here. It's that iconic view. If you've ever been to Arnside before, you just know that view. It's superb. Again, the terrain paint's not quite finished around here. There's still a bit to be done with some sand and some bits and pieces to plonk in there. Authentic wonky semaphore as well. So as we round the bend into the station area, we've got another signal box that came from Stainmore. So that's another one that saved Callum some work there. It's even got smoke coming out the chimney as well. I'm just about to see that there. And it fits in perfectly as well with the route there. As we move to the station, so another asset that came into play out Stainmore is the station building and the footbridge. So that's two more bits and pieces that's saved time, and it's just given it a bit more of the real look to it. Moving away from Arnside, we head towards Silverdale. Not too far from the West Coast main line, at Carnforth as well now. Another level crossing there that's been updated. So you'll see as well, here is the signalling. Most certainly these bins have been updated. I'm going to double check that. Yeah, so these ones are the JT lights there, not semaphores. So there used to be DTG ones, but because obviously the Cumbrian Coast section of the route uses the JT ones, I put these ones in just so they're all in line and running the same type throughout, so there's no confliction in any type of signalling. Sometimes signals don't work with each other and don't like to change if there's another one that's a different type of script. Luckily the semaphores do work with the JT ones, which is really helpful. So this section's loads of whistle boards around here as well. It's quite a fun section as you go around all the bends here with all the crossings. You get to blast the horn a bit. Silverdale station is just literally around the corner here. Nothing's changed on here at the minute. There's some boards to go in here as well, some opposite line working boards, so obviously tells you can do a lower speed if you're heading wrong line. Benedict Cooper's working on some packs and stuff for that, so once they're available to use, we'll add them into the route. Silverdale level crossing. The floodplains, and then we head towards Carnforth. Again, some bits and pieces in the fields just need a bit of terrain paint. Not much really to be done there. So as we get towards Carnforth, I'll show you what's changed around here and what other bits of work I've been doing, and we'll head around to Preston. So it's loading as I'm flying around the route. Obviously, it's trying to load all the stuff as I'm getting there quicker than usual. So what you'll see is, if you've used Phil's route off Workshop, what you'll know is The line actually continued in the straight line, so there actually was a junction here. That's now been taken out, and it's now been put into how it actually looks today. One line that comes in, not much. I don't think if anything uses it at all today these days. It is all overgrown, but there is a line that still connects to the main line. So as we come into Cardiff, you'll see OHLE. So all the OHLE has been redone, all the way up West Coast Main Line. Apart from, well, Preston was redone, but I've had to rip it all back out for the new stuff at Preston to be put in. So I've got to redo that a little bit again. But everything from Fowl Junction virtually is done, all the way down to Carnforth, using the ATS OHLE pack. Which took me about a month all in. It's got all the overlaps and all that sort of stuff going on. I'm trying to get as detailed as I possibly could. It's just a maze of wires when you look down there. This bit took quite a while to do, just to get it as best as I could. It wasn't easy, but I like to hope I've done a decent job with it for the first time of doing a proper OHLE job, apart from Northern Lines Electric, where that was all Series 2. This is obviously, there's a lot more types of wiring equipment to be used, all the different sections to be put in to try and replicate it with the actual cab ride video itself. The route goes a little bit further north, but there's nothing really to see there. It literally ends just over there. So the all that's done down here. You see the overlaps that come in as well, and all that. It's just this sort of stuff that took the longest to do. There's an old AWS magnet there. This shows the comparison, to be quite honest as well. Actually, what I'll do is just show. So you look at that one in terms of textures, and you look at that one, a lot more clearer. I mean, it's a little bit blue when you get near it, but a lot better in quality and colour. It'll take about a week to save now because it's a track file. Not too bad. Oh, fantastic. Right, we're back after being rudely interrupted by a temp dump, thanks TS. Probably because I've been in the game literally all day, and after going in and out of editor a couple of times, probably didn't really help the issue there, but never mind, we're back in. So, continuing down the line, we head towards Hest Bank. Yeah, so the main feature down here, of course, is the OHLE and the signals. Level crossings haven't been updated yet. These are still the original Kuju ones. These will be swapped out for JT ones, and all the road stuff will be tied up. Get some pavement on the roads as well. Just bring them up to standard. The Morecambe line hasn't had any signal work done yet. That's going to take place at some point. I'm trying to find a cab ride as well, which may help with that, just so we can get as much detail down there as possible. And that. Some footbridges will be changing as well to get rid of these original ones. We've got some decent ones that have come through the OTS library, and also the JT Common Library's got quite a nice selection of footbridges that will probably help out. No doubt. I'm not going to go back into it. You can see there's some duplicate AWS ramps that have been left in, so these will be taken out at some point. I'm just going to leave them for now, otherwise I'll end up causing the game to dump again. So this is the other box that possibly may change. Not too sure yet. Not overly dissimilar, but it would be nice to get the proper one in there. The box itself these days just serves as a CCTV hut, I think. Basically got cameras in there. There's a camera that sticks out of the window and watches the crossing. I might try and get this bridge sorted as well. One of my pet hate bridges. I mean, what's that doing? That's going. That ain't staying. Most hated bridge in train sim in my half that. So obviously here you've got the three lines, obviously where the line to Morecambe branches off. You can see where the OHLE ends. So there's a little section there for anything that needs to go in there, but after that the wires end. And you can see the two there. Although it's still got triple line portals in there. There's just no wires on that side. Signal gantries have been another thing that's changed. So they've got the JT gantries in, and also the signal cages are in there now to match with JT signals. So that section has not been touched yet. That will happen at some point down the line. Before release though, just I've not got around to it yet. Return wires are another thing that haven't been done yet. Those will be getting added in as I go around doing the line side detailing. So as we move around this bend, you'll see something that's quite different compared to the West Coast Main Line over Shap route. I've added in the Bay Gateway, which is the dual carriageway road that takes you from the M6, avoiding Lancaster and taking you down to Morecambe, which basically saves the backlog of traffic through the city of Lancaster. So that got added in about a week or two ago. So it's quite nice in the skyline there. Certainly changed the area. It's got traffic on it as well, which is cool. Got a drifting bus then. Moving on, I head towards Lancaster. Might try and also try and update this bridge. See what I've got in my asset list. What may give that a bit of an overhaul. It's looking a little bit sorry for itself and dated in terms of the textures, so it'd be nice to get a newer one in there. Lancaster itself, again, the station has not changed or anything like that. That is still the same. Again, that would be nice to see a new custom down the line, but it's one of them. It's going to take a lot of work and time, so it doesn't do too bad, to be fair. The one that's in there, it serves its purpose. Some of the stuff that has changed around here, though, is the track layout. So we've got the new. There were some crossovers that were in here. Those have gone. I've got the new crossovers added in instead, just because obviously we're focusing on the modern era of the route. So those have been changed to reflect what the track layout is. So when you make your scenarios, they'll help out. Next station, of course, will be Preston, so it's just to fly down the West Coast Main Line now. Again, we'll go through passing Goldgate. We'll also go through like Bay Horse and all that lot on the way. Garstang and Cattrall, Barton, and then into Preston. Currently the Isle of Preston, as I call it. Just put the wires back into these panels. Some bits and pieces went walkies on the merge, which a couple of lofts went disappearing here and there, so they'll get put back in. A few little bits on the line side here. I need to put some fences backing up there. I will be adding and compiling all the requirements at some point quite soon. So what I'll do is I'll make a post on track simulation, just so that you guys can see what is needed for the route, so you can sort of prepare yourself for when that time comes of release. I mean, it's a little bit off yet. It's not going to be next week or next month, so it's a couple of months away at least yet. But at least it gets you ready if there's anything obviously that appears in a sale that you may need, that you can pick it up. So that was Albeck Loop. Got Lancaster University sort of area there as well. So we're heading towards Goldgate now. Conda Viaducts. You've got the A6 on the right hand side of us there, and of course the M6 still in as it was. I think as well with the OHLE, it just gives it so much more depth. I mean, the original OHLE was one type of wire which literally stuck to the rails, and it doesn't zigzag or anything like that. It just literally falls in the centre of the tracks, and it went around as it was. And the OHLE had to sort of like replace it in strategic locations so it looked right. Whereas obviously you can get the proper effect with this now. It's just so much better. Bay Horse, I think. Yeah, Bay Horse. Oh, there's a bus just turned up. Yeah, Bay Horse. So we've got all the overlaps and stuff going on here as well. There's some return wires added in. I've added a few here and there. Literally just there. I think I added them in just for a screenshot. So we're around the Dolphin Dome area. I remember coming to this bridge quite a few times when I was younger. So you got Scorton coming up as well in a moment. So Scorton's just over here on the left hand side where that church is, the Priory. Nicky Nook. If anyone's ever been around here, lives around here, Nicky Nook's nice walk up there as well. Done that a few times. This area as well, obviously, being quite close to where I live, it's a place I love coming to. There's a walkway down here in real life. You can actually walk alongside the river. It's quite nice. Memorial Walk, it's called. I think it's called Memorial Way or something like that. So footbridge is still to be changed. Those will be done on the sweep of line side bits and bobs. The GSMR mass have changed. I've put the new JT ones into there. I think they just look nicer. The concrete base and all the bits of detail on there. More modern looking than the old ones from Coogee. The comms huts. This is one of the. I actually have updated a couple of bridges already. So this is one of them. This has come from the OTS Common Library. And this one fits in perfectly for this location. Correct height as well under the OHLE. Didn't really require much scaling either. So we move towards Garstang and Catterall. You've got Thornton. This is sort of like the Thornton area, so the Thornton service station somewhere around as well here. I don't think it's actually in the route. It would be quite nice to see that as an asset, to be fair, because it's quite a big structure. This is the substation area at Garstang and Catterall. Salt Igloo's been added in. That's one of the MML assets. It's in the common library now, but that's literally what's there. Trying to figure out where the actual service station is at Thornton. I'm not too sure if it's actually. I'm trying to figure out where we are here. No, it's definitely over there somewhere. I think it's literally somewhere on this curve. Somewhere around here, I'm most certain. But it's like it's a big structure. You can see it from miles, so it would be nice to see that maybe as a custom asset added in, just sort of like a skyline asset. So now, anyway, regarding that, we are heading towards Brock. So this is Badger Bridge. Another location that it's a nice location to come to. The issue is you can't really get decent photos here because it really ruins the view. But other than that, it's a good location to come sit. If you like driving by, just sit here and get a good view of stuff. I think recently they did actually chop down a lot of these fir trees, so I need to double check on that, and they may end up going anyway. and they are quite Cujo-y, so if they need to change, they'll be changing to a newer model, but I think a lot of them did get chopped down. So now we're coming up towards Brock. Brock's changed quite a bit. There was a level crossing here. I've not tied it all up just yet, but the level crossing's been took out. I need to put fencing and stuff here, but there's now a god-awful footbridge. I like coming here. This is one of my photo locations when I'm allowed to go out and play. Obviously I can't at the minute because of all the things that are going on in the world. But this is one of my locations I like to come to when I like Steam rail tours and bits and pieces are passing by. Used to be a lot better when that bridge weren't there for the north going south stuff. It's not bad for the stuff going this direction. The view is a bit better in real life, to be fair. But yeah, it was ruined by this bridge. You can stand on here, but it's not the same. That'll be tied up in due course. Anyway, moving on. We're not too far from Preston now, so that probably will be the next main thing to start like show you. It's just a couple of bends away. So there's double bits and pieces. Some bits need taking out yet. That was copied over. Quite weird this, I'll show this one as an example. You've got this portal thing that goes over to one line, but then you've got a mast. Whereas they could have just put two of them on it. It's a bit weird. There's a few locations like that on the line that look like that. I might try and redo this bridge as well. I'm not overly keen on it. It's quite kit bashed and old looking. So I might have a look what's loitering around in the old common library, and that may look more like what it should do. I'll have a play with that at some point. One thing to note as well, there is VP trees in this section, but these haven't been placed by myself. This is down to if you've got the Stainmore route and you put in the VP tree patch in, what it does is it overwrites the Cujo 3D trees. So if you've used them, it'll overwrite them on here as well, which is not a bad thing because they look better. You do get a few odd ones dotted about and bushes as well. Just to take note on that one. So we've got Barton and Broughton Loop. Some other bits and pieces from the OTS Common Library, these little crossing things. These are where they obviously load on the road vehicles to the rails for any like engineering works. So those are dotted about in different locations along the line. So we are heading into Preston now. Other things have changed, as such bits like these pipes. There were some awful Cujo things that are dead long, they were dead wide as well, went over here. So we've got the, these came from Erewash Valley, but they're in the JT Common Library now, so they look much better, do the job properly. So there's a couple of them dotted around the route as well. Wait a second while it loads in this. There, I stopped lagging. Don't worry, it's mainly because I'm flying around the route dead quick, so I'm sort of like getting somewhere though. It's trying to load in the lofts at the same time, that's why it starts stuttering. As you can see, it's perfectly fine once you get going again. This bridge has been updated. So on the main drag into Preston now, it's literally the last straight section. So you can see Oxhays Loop, which is just approaching us on the left hand side there. Not all the speed balls have been sorted on the west, well none of them have been done on the West Coast Mainline yet because I need to set all the values up. when we did the merge, basically it's 2 track bins merged into one, so you have to lose one. We lost the one on this West Coast Main Line section, so I just need to redo all that lot. Won't take me too long. Just got to go through it with a cab ride, just make sure I've got the right locations in for the speed boards and put the correct stuff back in. All these bridges. These are fitting quite nicely, so I just need to put some fences and stuff around the sides of them, just tidy them up. And it sorts itself out. There we go. So you can actually see as well, I've actually started doing some of the line side clutter, cable trunking, extra junction boxes and all the little fences and stuff. Got grids and stuff like that as well. All bits and pieces. Also putting in these signal phones and stuff. Little walkways. Just trying to get as much detail in as possible, just to bring it up to modern standards, and if you, as best as we can with an old route. Well, I started doing some, but this is where the track's ripped up at the minute, so this is where the merge took place, so a lot of track had to be took off and severed. So Mark's going to be sorting this out at some point. There's a little bit of work to be done here because there's a slight difference in height with the merger track, but Mark's got an idea to sort of make a bit of a fake gradient, if you will, just to meet him up. And I've just got to adjust some scenery and stuff. Shouldn't be too noticeable, to be honest, but it means we do get to have the nice asset of Preston Station. We've got the custom St Walburg's Church as well from the missing link route in there now, rather than the kit bash job that was in. There was about 4 churches there originally. Tracks up to here, so you can sort of see the difference in height. So it'll be worked on to be sort of levelled out, and it'll all meet up. So I'll have to probably rip a bit of the line side stuff up and just redo that again. It shouldn't take me too long to sort out. But yeah. So I've been working on this section, trying to get this in, so I've been putting the buildings in and sorting all the area out around here. Kit bash this awful bridge as well. Actually turned out a lot better than a lot of different Northern lines. So I've been putting in the side retaining walls and stuff like that, and I've done this bit area here, all the car park, and put some fresh assets in there. Made a start on this side. I've got all the banking stuff in, but I haven't finished it off yet. I haven't touched this area for a few days. I've been working up at Dalton, trying to get that area done really before I can put more focus into this. So obviously, as I said, Pete put a lot of work into this in getting the tracks over, and obviously helping out there so we could use the fantastic station asset of Preston rather than the kit bash job. So once this gets all wired back up again, it'll look fantastic. Bit of work to be done around here just to sort out the line into the drop down to Strand Road, but it'll all come together nicely. And the line ends over there again as well, so you can see where my wires are. I need to rip all this lot up. I mean, it's not overly far off, but I don't think it'll stay lined up correctly, and it's not all to the right height anyway. So I need to rip it out and put them in again. Not too much work, to be fair. It's just a straight run down there. A few days work to get this lot back in. We've also got Ribble Viaducts in as well, which is one of the missing link assets as well. Again, looks better than the old girder bridge that was in there. That's pretty much where we're at, to be quite honest, though, on that side of things. We are streaming the route a few times a week, building as well, so what we're doing on the streams is basically a one or two scenarios to give a couple of hours running time, and then we're doing an hour or two route building as well, so it means we can progress the route at the same time as streaming. And everyone that's been watching as well, I hope that you've enjoyed it as well up to now. I hope this video has been beneficial to helping you out and find out what's going on if you don't follow the streams. As you can see, a lot of work's been going on. There's still a lot of work to be done, but we are moving in the right direction of where we want it to be for the standard of the route. Once the stuff down to Dalton is sorted, we'll probably do a bit of a run on that section. Maybe do a flash train scenario up to Carnforth for something, maybe down to Morecambe, just as a bit of a stream thing or a video thing. That'd be quite nice to do. This section is going to be quite a way off. This probably will be one of the last sections that gets finished, to be fair, Preston. As I need to sit down in a dark room and just rock it a little bit, just to get over the last time I did the OHL. It took a bit of time to do that, but we'll get it done in good time. Thank you again, guys, for watching as well. Any questions, do feel free to ask in the comment section below. All the links will be provided for anything relevant to this video as well. Don't forget, you can catch up with any of our previous development diaries on the playlist, so this will be added to the same playlist, so you'll be able to skim back through on any of those. Don't forget, catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/trainsim_TV, and you can catch us at Facebook as well. Put our updates of when we're going to stream on there, and use YouTube community section. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now.